Good day for footy, and both these teams have done pretty well. Historically, combined states are in that final 7 and 8. They're now fighting off for 5th and 6th against Victoria, who were brilliant on Thursday. Almost knocked over last year's champions, the ACTs. They get things underway, and let's see if they can win this one. The VICs, who have done very well this year. Big improvers, as were WA. I know they went down there by a hefty margin, Pato, but they're the emerging states that are WA and Victoria are both on the rise as there's a turnover in this first phase. You've seen a bit of footy over the last week, mate. Your thoughts on some of the schoolboy talent? I know there's some good talent coming through, but who's caught your eye?
Yeah, really impressed with the overall standard to start with. You know, each year you never cease to be amazed about the size and the skill and the athleticism of these young men. And certainly we've seen some terrific players here and there in the emerging states. Certainly some guys that we're going to see more of. And the big boys in New South Wales and Queensland and ACT have all impressed as well, as we see combined states pressing early here.
They are, and Murray, their halfback's a little firecracker, so he's got his hands on the ball a couple of times, the halfback, as they take forward through. Is that Flattery? It is. And States through Gibbs. A good solid run there by Zystar. And now tackled is Gibbs again, slow ball. So Murray controlling things well in this opening part of the game. That's Wellington with a bit of a bump through there.
Big, powerful run, that one.
And you could hear the Vics hoot blaring in the background, and they've gone down this short side, and it's a good carry by and a big flip over the top. Is he going to get there? That's Raheem. It is. So opening try to Alexander Raheem, who's had some work to do, the big number 8. Was able to get on the outside and did very, very well to score that one.
Comes back to that big, powerful run we see here through Murray, was it, Haas? And look, this was terrific play, just shifted out wide, and they got on the outside of that man in the outside channel. Big Flaherty over the top passing. Lovely try, that one. It's interesting with combined states, Haas. I think you see early that they struggle, obviously. They don't know each other from a bar of soap when they get together. But by the end of the tournament, you often see combined states looking really good. They've had a week together, become tight mates, and they start to really get some form going in the back half of the week. It's often not a surprise either to see the Aussie selectors pluck a name or two out of this combined states team. Obviously, the Australian Schoolboys team and the Australian Schoolboys Barbarians team are both named the end of day's play today. So a lot of these boys will be sticking their hands high in the air to try and get into that side, those two sides and those two squads.
Yeah, it's a good concept, combined states. I'd like to see it potentially in some type of rep team like NRC, of players that are emerging or need a crack of an opportunity. It's
an interesting shot.
As it looks to shade the upright. That's Hutchinson Walters, the young centre from Waverley. But
well, look, you get, I think the good thing with combined states is there's always an unpolished diamond in there. I think back to Lucan Tui, the Wallabies back rower. He was in the combined states cup not that long ago. You know, he came from a school down there in southwest Sydney that wasn't a traditional rugby school, but was well spotted by an eagle-eyed scout and chucked into that combined states team. And look at him now. So there might be a Lucan 2 or 3 out there at the moment. And certainly, you know, the Victorian rugby set up very well, Haas. How are things looking at school level down there?
Yeah, pretty strong. As a throw there by Victoria. It's the placement hooker Graham as they continue through. But no, schoolboy footy in Victoria certainly got a lot of rich history. And a couple of these players here are actually playing first grade in the Jewish Shield.
Wow.
And their halfback being one of them. Hunt. As
just
we
behind him.
Continue to go through here. Counter ruck on. Ball's there at the back. So
gone in the side there.
penalty to Victoria.
We often see the junior age rep teams doing well out of Victoria, Haas. You know, in your time down there, I think that they won the under 14s and under 15s and under 16s sort of comps.
Yep.
Oh, that was a bit of a scratchy kick. What's happened there? That was a James O'Connor style clearance kick. So Victoria with a chance to go and attack. Let's have a look at this replay. What exactly happened here? Didn't find touch. Yes, it was knocked back in. And then Wooshka, a worm burner.
I've never heard of the term worm burner. It's a little bit like my drive off the tee.
Yep.
Doesn't seem to get any high, but no, Hunt plays, the halfback he plays for in the Jewish Shield. I think he sits on the bench for Moorabbin.
Big powerful scrum there from Combined States.
And I think that's been the difference what I've seen is when you talk about schoolboy talent and schoolboy football, it's the emerging states that are on the rise like Victoria and WA. They're set piece lacks. So all the kids are really skillful and they can all play, and I think their breakdown work and their carry and their positioning around the field's always pretty good.
You're right.
And then when you get to the line out and scrum, it's just that's the area where they need to see most of the improvement.
It really has. We saw WA struggle all week with their scrum. So yeah, I'm not sure what can be done there. Maybe a bit of a travelling roadshow of some set piece coaching wouldn't go astray.
Certainly got the depth there in Australian rugby at the moment from a skills point of view with Mick Byrne as Combined States cart forward. They're looking good in this opening 5 minutes. Ball at the back. Picked up well, 2 there by Gibbs.
Lovely hands. And he's away. He's shrugged off a couple of tackles, looking to the right, Grubber.
Beautiful little play there.
Where's the chase?
Combined
Still
State.
on. What a try.
So that's Thomas Gore off some brilliant play by Jude Gibbs.
Unbelievable skill there. Terrific play.
Good stuff. So it's now 10-0.
Let's have a look at this. Gibbs is Mark Ellerhands. He shrugged off about 3 there. Dummy. Through the line. Had a look outside. Too much traffic. Puts the grubber in, and Gore did very well to put that on the toe and finish. That's as good a try as we've seen this week.
Jude Gibbs, the son of Wallaby doctor Nathan Gibbs. Beautiful family there, so hopefully if the Gibbses are here today or tuned in around the computer screen on Rugby.com.au watching this one, or on the mobile app Rugby Explorer, they'll be seeing Jude in action. So g'day to Nathan and Kerry and the fam. But
well, he's been around football all his life then, hasn't he, Jude? If he's the son of Dr. Nathan Gibbs, one of the greats. He's been a doctor at the Swans as well, and some rugby league clubs.
Yep.
So this is a kid who's grown up with a footy in his hand.
That's exactly right. But he's off to a good start. I think he's only in year 11 too. So what you need to look out for here is some of those players that not in year 12. They've got another year to go. And the Combined States environment, as you said, Pato, is a good one to be playing in because selectors are looking at all teams at an even field. And another opportunity now for Hutchinson Walters. I'd love to get an understanding of these socks that they're wearing.
Well, I can tell you. I was just about to tell you when we had a break.
Oh, pardon
so we
me.
obviously
I'll leave it to you then.
Well, thanks very much. We obviously see Combined States wear their school socks during the week. Today they are all wearing the same socks, and they are the socks of a mental health charity called Batyr, who Paddy Ryan does a lot of work with.
Brilliant.
And those guys go into schools, high schools, and talk to young men about, you know, the ability to open up and have a talk to each other, have a chat about their well-being. As we see Combined States away again.
That's
he's offside.
Hutchinson Walters, but just back on Paddy Ryan doing some great stuff in the community. If he's leading the charge there, I'm sure they're in a good place. But 10-0 Combined States over Victoria here. Victoria have had no ball in this one as they look to head to the line, and that's the hooker Jacob Beaumont getting the call in from Rooster, his front row partner.
they have to just get some ball and try and build some continuity, not with throws like that.
No, set piece still struggling here for Victoria, but Hunt comes over the top looking for the tackle. Long ball place in now to Combined States. Good carry here by Molly, who's... Malloy, who's had a good couple of games here, the Waverley flank up. Dug out now, here's Murray. Murray finds his hooker, who dishes it off to Wellington, who makes another couple of metres. Again, Murray, here's Gibbs again on the outside. Back on the inside, that's a good change of play there. Good strong carry too by
great
Pollock.
offload. There's Gibbs again.
Here's Gibbs taken high. We'll have a look at that. That looks like it was a head-high tackle. And they're playing the advantage now, but straight through the middle. Combined States, can they get there? Just short. Good tackle by Victoria. Dished out now. Out again.
Well, it's a matter of time here, Hass, you'd imagine.
And that's
really pressing hard.
Flaherty. Advantage played there. The Gregan ball back on the inside. And Sartre, the hooker for Combined States, has found the line. And I said before, Nicholas Murray is a live wire there in the 9 jersey. He had his hand in everything, the halfback, and saw the pill back on the inside, and will give Combined States what will potentially be a 17-point lead with a try under the sticks.
Whiteman almost got to the line there. We saw in the replay, and his second row partner Flaherty almost got there as well, but I think you take this one back to the lovely run from the fullback Ben Pollock. He got away through the line and offloaded inside to Gibbs, and they were through at that point. Hassan, it seemed like a matter of time. Victoria just struggling to deal with the pace and clinical kind of attacking shape, they call it these days, of Combined States. So they've done good things inside a week, Combined States.
There's the conversion for Gibbs. True story on Gibbs. He's always working on his kicking and his skills. He's Sunday afternoon, Latham Park in Coogee, rain tumbling down. He's out there, always trialling.
Well, his opposite number today, the man on screen, is Kai Kearns, who is the son of Robbie Kearns. You might remember as the Melbourne Storm and Kangaroos rugby league prop. So good to see Kai in the game they play in Heaven, Hass.
Yeah, I know, Robbie, and he'd be very proud of his son Kai as Combined States get through now through Wellington. Wellington puts it on the toe. The back rower showing some flair. Cleaned up well by Victoria, and this kid, Fanua, can play. He's another Jewish Shield player, just 17 years old. Hunt shifting on.
Oh, that's a bit of a sketchy bus, that one. And he was offside. I tell you what, we've seen a quick tap here.
And that's Murray who takes it on and brings it forward to Flaherty. And on that ball is Kearns. He tried to get the pilfer there, Kearns, but couldn't get it. Combined States go one out. Gibbs.
Oh, great hit.
Great hit, but then well recycled. But we're going to go back and play the advantage. We'll have a little listen in here to the referee. You'll have a word to the Vics.
You're clearly not back 10 under pressure in this zone.
It's disappointing too, because I was looking forward to seeing Fanua play. He's a good footballer, as is Liam Stone. Liam Stone being a little bit quiet, the 7 for Victoria in this one.
Well, here we go, Hass. On the weekend, we farewell George Smith. Take a look at another back row showing all the skills. Watch this for a left foot step. Thought he might go all the way. Decided to George Smith style put a grubber in. Wasn't too far off getting it back, but that man Fanua managed to get over the ball. What is it about these back rows these days, Hass? They've got all the skills.
Mate, all the skills, all the size. You look at Australian rugby, we just produce really good sevens. And George Smith last night, I know he didn't play, but it's a testament to it. Here comes Murray,
There's
too easy. Look at him, the little rug rat under the post. There's not much of him, but gee, he does some damage. And this is the opportunity you get from Combined States to be able to show your flair. You'd be better off starting in this team than being on the bench for any other state. And Murray's been a standout for the States, but too easy in Payton, and it came from a solid set piece.
Good shout, mate. This is the benefit of having a very strong scrum. They're a man down, of course, so they've got a big gap on the field. And Murray, that shows really good smarts to get out of there. And the blindside breakaway for Victoria was still sleeping when Murray had already dotted the ball down.
Gibbs now looking for his second attempt. Combined states looking very good here. Queensland 2 in the last game really ran away with it. Could be another cricket score in this one. Victoria have just had no ball as Gibbs puts it across the pine. So 22 points to 0 with a quarter of the game gone.
Do you think the fatigue factor comes into play at this time of the week? Cass, I know they're all very young men full of energy, but 4 games in, what are we, 6 days? That'd take a bit of juice out of the legs, wouldn't it?
Would it ever? I'll tell you what, at our age, mate, we wouldn't even make it through one without needing three
games
days
in
rest.
1 year would be enough for me.
I think it works. That's a good jackal there by Victoria. They've got to get back in the game now. 2 quick tries could swing the momentum back to them. What will they do? Their line-out hasn't been working. Kearns goes and looks for the ball.
Got to put it in the corner, don't you? Have a crack. So what was the format before, Hass? They played every day, did they?
I think it's always been this format, but there can be no other way. I think the only thing that's difficult for this schoolboys championship at this time of year is the timing, but it's just got to marry in with the international calendar. Carnivals are set across the country, but to be able to play a full season of schoolboy footy, then go into this, then go into schools is probably the right outcome, but we've just got to take it as it is. But it's good to have every schoolboy of national talent in the one room, and they're certainly on show here as Victoria go through Hunt, who goes back down this short side. Is it picked up well? It is by the Victorian loose head Rooston. Here's Hunt again. Hunt finds Stone, and Stone tips it on a bit flat. This is how they played in their last match, and they got back in the game. Doesn't need to be fancy by Victoria. Hunt now finds Kearns. Kearns giving it out to Ilagi.
He's isolated.
Isolated, good counter ruck. High tackle is called, so good defence. At that breakdown, Kearns takes the quick tap, but not in front of the referee. They'll play it back. Just on Kearns. You were saying before about Robbie Kearns, former State of Origin, Melbourne Storm and Kangaroo. Very proud of his kids playing rugby, and just shows you that the pathway in Victoria is very strong, but also the schoolboys footy system. They've got some great schools in Xavier College, Scots College, St. Kevin's.
There you go, you're on the spot now. You've got to name them all. You can't just pop a few out.
Marsland's another good one. But there's this rich history of schoolboy footy where they all get down there and support. And I was saying before in the first game, there's nothing better than going down and seeing your local school play in front of a big crowd. And some of these schools can certainly bring the numbers as Vic go to the line out. Struggled today, and they're just doing their best. Yep. But a charge down from Kearns. Kearns back to Hunt. Hunt knocks it back, but then it's as though it's now lost from
the big man, Roy Jesse David. He's a huge prop. Good run forward.
I like the look of this Stone. He's rocks or diamonds, pardon the pun, Stone, but when he goes, geez, good.
There we go.
And here
comes the big man,
Victoria.
David. He's got his hands free. That's a low.
No, I'll give it to him.
Come on. TMO. No, he's chucked a foot out.
But that's better play from Victoria. They don't need to trial anything. They haven't won any line out, and they find themselves in this game. Here's Stone carting it forward, and you said it there, Pato, a good offload with Hunt digging it out, and I think Stone ended up getting his arms free. Probably just needed to go hands, 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 but it's easy to say that in hindsight, and Lambert Crichton just couldn't get there as combined states march it forward.
Well, this is where you just got to pull it down, don't you, for Victoria? They'll go the whole way. No, they've bunched off.
It's good listening into some of the acoustics of the Rugby.com.au call.
Turnover.
On the ref's mic, it is a turnover. Hunt goes digging it out and finds it.
That's the danger of splintering off on the rolling maul as Victoria look to the left.
Good run
he's
by,
dropped that one cold.
Good run by Tui Palutu to get through there, and he has dropped it cold.
Disappointing. They had the advantage though, Hass, so no harm done. But look, this is much, much better from Victoria. They've got some big boys up there in their pack, and they're using them to roll forward. And then there does look to be a bit of skill out there that they can find. Tui Palutu's brother, is it?
Yeah, Sione.
Sione is a Rebel, of course. And look, it's good to see, Hass. I know that you were part of the inaugural Rebels down there. They've got the Rebels 5 stars on the chest there, the Victorian schoolboys team. So there's a real connection there up through to the big boys. I'll always like to see that.
It is important, and even just seeing the team before Western Australia with the swan and wearing the traditional colours of the Western Force, who of course play Apia tonight. World Series Rugby, but a real strong movement in WA to connect those two brands and to show players and kids that there is a pathway into a professional team there in the West. And you can see here Victoria with the 5 stars on their chest and wearing the traditional colours of the Victorian Axemen. So
got to keep this scrum up. He's happy for it to play.
So tradition's here, and tradition continues for Vic with a difficult ball of scrums there. They've got to work on their set piece. Here's Hunt. Ball at the back. Pick and go by Victoria through Charlie Carter, who's had a strong tournament at the hooker.
He's up though. Oh no, he's down now. That's the good work there.
There's Carter, long ball plays. Too many forwards at this breakdown. They wouldn't want to turn it over. They keep marching forward. Looks like
there's a man on his feet there. Yeah. That's very well done from.
Looks like the hooker for Combined States getting that one.
It is. Nathan Zystra. Well, a disappointing finish to that attacking raid from Victoria. They are looking to use that forward power, but you really got to have, if you're going to pick and drive, you've got to have blokes on your hammer. It's really inexcusable to be turning the ball over when you're picking and driving.
I'll ask you today here, Pato. I've given the referees a huge rap in this tournament as we go off first phase. We'll get back to that one in a tick as that's Hutchinson Walters getting over the advantage line. It's a bit difficult to see some of these numbers that are black and white, but Combined States. Who's that man on that ball? That's Stone. He is good. I love him.
So they won't give up like the Vics. Yeah, look. Anything you can do, I can do too, or better.
Did you say more better? Or, I'm sorry.
More better.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. No, sorry, you're right. As Victoria go to the line. And this is probably why they look to take the quick taps in that game against ACT. They're just struggling with their line out. But with Charlie Carter now throwing Pato, I think they'll be okay.
It's an interesting thing. They're still going to the middle. I mean, they want to attack the middle of the field. Sometimes I think you just got to go to 2, but that's a good result anyway.
Here's Vic, and that's that superstar for Una.
Fanui's back on after his yellow card, so they're back to their full complement.
Just looking at the referee and the officiating in this, which I think's been brilliant. I've watched most games, and we've barely spoken about the referees. There's been a couple of cards, but they're playing it to the letter of the law as we see some of the people here piling up for the final later on. But last night with the letter of the law and a lot of talkability around the red card of Kirk from Sunwolves, there's a bit of an interesting one where there's a law book and there's an interpretation. If one person along that whole journey doesn't get it right, then you can end up with a red card, and the punter who's paying the price mightn't be too happy.
That's a much better line out. I've got thoughts on that. Haas will come back to it.
Okay, so Victoria now through Kearns. Kearns gets it on the outside. Beautiful away ball. To here now.
He's on his own again, though.
To Bua.
A lovely clean out from your man Stone. He's cleaned out about 4 blokes there, Haas.
He's a freak. Coming through now is Fau Alingi. And that ball thrown at his feet.
Look, not a bad option from Stone to let that go. He would have knocked it on, I think, around the ankles. So that's a good option. They live to fight another ruck. And here it is.
It's through the gate there. That's Hutchinson Walters with the pilfer. Kearns in at halfback now. They give it out now to Charlie Carter. Beautiful pass by the hooker. Now finds Hobbs, who looks to go back on the inside and clangs it up. So turnover time for...
Great strip from Gibbs. Lovely strip. He's diffused that pressure. Victoria just struggling to commit defenders, I think, Haas. They're not going quite to the line before they pass the ball. Making it just a little bit too easy for, as you see, Gibbs is roaming there and he's taken a lovely pluck from the arms of Hobbs.
Carter doesn't find the mark, but Stone gets it and clangs it up. But
well, the referee stuff has, I think actually, it's a very good point you raise. What I like about this situation is that we're seeing refs without technology at this tournament, and they have nothing else but to use their instincts and their intuition and their game sense, and I think that's where we're going wrong. As Stone goes through,
here comes Stone.
He's going to go the whole way, is he? What a try.
I love this
kid.
Well,
it's been all diamonds from Stone for the last couple of minutes. Tell you what.
Here we go. Let's have a look at it here.
That's just all power, determination.
Here goes Hunt, finds Stone. Stone just brushed him off. And he just goes through, puts the ball down like a sevens player.
Big man.
He was a bit rough in his opening game, Stone. Then he came back. He was probably one of the best on the ground versus the ACT. And
he's gassed. Well done to him. Look at him. He's going to, boys, I need another breather. I'll tell you what, he can have a breather after that. That was a sensational try from Liam Stone. I love those toiling sevens. Just, you know, we only mentioned a minute ago he cleaned out a ruck with about 12 blokes in it. Then to have the energy to palm off a defender and race, what, 35 metres for a try. Love it.
Conversion unsuccessful to Fonua, but I like the look of Stone. I like the look of that as we talked about before about open side flankers in Australian rugby. We just find them, and you look at some of the greats that we've had, George Smith, Phil Waugh of recent times, and Michael Hooper and David Pocock come along. But
well, here's an interesting question for you, Hass. Do we find them, or because of the rich tradition of sevens in this country, do good athletic kids go, I want to do that too, and you know, a little bit like the Shane Warne effect?
I think so. That's a fair point. And I also think that the
big run
body shape of Stone is the future of the seven, someone who can play in the line out as well, but not to say that he's going to be a wallaby, but if he keeps playing like this, who knows, as combined states look to take it forward.
That was another big run from Wellington that set that up, and here we go. They're back on attack, combined states. Victoria defence needs to stand up. It's not looking too flash at the moment.
Great run there by Saunders, and the spoils celebrated by combined states. So Saunders had a lot of work to do, but you could just see here, he puts his scaps on. He just dishes the ball out, nice one-on-one.
It's very disconnected, that defence. Look, that
Saunders in at the ball
spacing
carry.
Is all wrong.
And Charlie Carter sort of get out there, but he had some work to do, Saunders, and the only thing that he's done wrong there is his man bun. But apart from that, he's scored the 5-pointer, and that's a pretty big score because Victoria were getting a bit of a sniff and starting to look like they were getting back in this game, but that lead is now looking...
Well, they'll be very disappointed with that one. The Victorian coaches, just as they were starting to piece together some decent play, Stone puts in a great try. Then the kickoff, you see what is a pretty soft try conceded. Saunders probably won't score an easy one in his life.
The conversion successful to number 22, Leighton Hutchinson Walters.
But yeah, look, the final word on the ref thing, I think, you know, it'd be great if we can see that instinctive kind of reliance and game sense progress all the way, you know, stay with the referees all the way up into the professional level. I feel like they're just a little bit too cowed by the ability to make a mistake or a mistake to be identified in the post-match reviews, and referees' bosses have probably got a big role to play there to empower their refs to just make decisions, common sense decisions. Yeah. So we see another lovely breakaway up the left. I think when I'm talking about referees, Victoria do well. The Victorian coaches can come over and pay me to do a bit more of it if they want.
Here we go now from Stone at first, receiver to Charlie Carter, the hooker. He's good, this hooker. He always makes meters. And Hunt now finds the ball and finds the line, puts his head down. A strong little carrier here, Hunt, but poor body position. Looks like he may have hurt himself in that tackle, but not releasing the player. Let's have a listen to the ref. And he's got no comment there, but Kearns comes in and grabs the ball. So, Pato, Victoria now looking to score 31 points to 5. It's going to be a tough ask for them to come back, but if they're going to do it, they'll need to score before half-time as Carter gets to the mark. Let's look after this set piece.
Where do you throw this one, Hass? There's a bit of wind starting to Brewer.
Well, it's Malloy that's doing the damage at the front there, but they win that and they go through Kearns, and Kearns, beautiful set piece play on the outside now to, who is that there? That's Lambert Crichton.
Lovely tackle from Hamish McSmith, though. That really stopped that play in its tracks.
It was, as Victoria look to score here. Hunt back down the short side. Here's that man again, Lambert Crichton, carrying well. Plenty of pressure on that breakdown. A lot of Victorians there, which may hurt them outside. Here goes Hunt. Hunt back on the inside to his carriers in the forwards.
Just no support, Haas, yet again.
Well, overcommitted on the one before, and they've been stung there as Stone gets to get it back. And here come Combined States down this short side. And good carry there by Hutchinson Walters, who finds the right angle to get back inside for a long ball place to his halfback Murray. Murray doing some work for them through Whiteman in the middle of the field. Clean out over the top. No hand, says the ref. Penalty could be on the horizon. No. Murray gets it out. Murray running well backwards, and the shepherd there, or obstruction as we call it in rugby union. No ball. Victor screaming for it. They need to score here, Pato.
Not a big... I think you could probably let that go, couldn't you, Haas? He was running backwards.
He was running backwards very quickly, so it was a bit of an interesting play, and they're actually kicking it here to the open side.
Touch, and it's not going to be out, so that was an interesting decision.
It was a brave one, but Combined States now with the ball through the fullback Pollock, who's tackled well by Tuibua. Here's Murray digging it out, coming forward. Good carry there from States in Whiteman. It's been good this morning, Whiteman. Here's the try scorer, Wellington.
Big strong lad, that, Wellington.
Almost a clone of Richard Hardwick, as Combined States now swing it wide and through the hooker, and front rowers shouldn't be doing these type of things. Combined States through Gore, toes it through, and it's a high kick. Can he carry? No. And that's a penalty to, who's he got his arm out to there? Looks like Victoria, so offside. This is the half that just keeps on giving. Quick tap by Fanua is knocked on, so that sums up the half really for Victoria. Just the 5 points for them. They trail Combined States 31, Pato. Combined States were just too strong in sort of that middle period of the half, but Victoria are showing some fight, but it's going to be hard for them to get back on this one.
Combined States looking very good when they get the ball wide. They've got good attacking skill. Not too many mistakes from them, to be fair, but Victoria probably too many mistakes, I'd say. Just unable to get any continuity going. To be fair, they look dangerous when they can piece together some play, but they're just far too often getting isolated with their ball runners and turning the ball over.
If you're interested in a coffee, the coffee machine van is...
Just looking at some of the Victorian players who are out on their feet at the moment. It's 31 points to Combined States in a team that's been dominated by their playmakers. Nicholas Murray's been great. Jude Gibbs has had his hand in nearly everything and been accurate with the boot. And also some very, very strong play from their bench that came on for them. In particular, Hutchinson Walters, who has kicked very well as well. Victoria, well, it's the usual suspects for them. I've given him a good rap. Liam Stone, been in everything. And also Fanua, who's a great player. Hasn't really seen much ball, but I would say the pick of them has been their halfback Hunt. It's 31 points to 5 here at halftime of the second match on the final day of the Australian Schoolboys Championship. Ian Payton, Adam Fryer. We'll take a quick break. We'll be back in a few moments' time to see the second half in this one. It's a playoff for 5th and 6th, Victoria and Combined States. We'll be back soon. Welcome back here for the second game of the final day here of the Australian Schools Championships. If Victoria get things back underway, they're trailing this one 31 points to 5. Adam Fryer and Ian Payton here at St Ignatius College. Riverview, Pato. It's been an interesting first half, but Victoria with all the work to do in this one.
Combined States looking the much better team, but Victoria showed glimpses of promise when they got their big men rolling forward, and they're trying to do that now. Just got to get that pack working in a bit better unison, I suppose you would say. As they continue to press, Hunt pushes it wide. Kearns with a floating ball. That one's gone astray as well. Just not in sync at the start of this second half, Victoria.
As they look to recover from that start. Looks like the ball has been turned over, and it is a penalty, so hands in the ruck. And they look for the quick tap as they go back down this short side. And into touch.
New halfback there for Combined States. Aaron Prosser, I believe, is on. It's hard he's got a black number, Hass. This is the commentator's curse.
Mate, it is a commentator's curse, but it's certainly not a curse or any sort of challenge in watching this talent. They're really, really good here this morning. Charlie Carter with the line out and the good carry straight up by Victoria. Long ball place for Hunt, who then feeds it off again to Kearns, who's just to get away from that first tackler, and he hasn't been able to. So Vics are having a crack here. Here's Hunt, pick and go from the halfback, looking for runners, but the referee sort of got in his way.
Well, the successful teams we've seen, it's a pretty basic tenet of these Kearns with a big roost. Is it going to find touch? No, it's not. Successful teams have been able to punch holes in the defence and then follow on after that, and Victoria just struggling to do that in this game.
Big hit there too from Adua Carly. Here's Malloy. Good carry. Malloy's been good today. He's been in everything and has been very, very effective at the line out for Combined States.
The two big locks have been strong too.
And Gibbs marshalling the troops down this short side. And speaking of talented players, Gibbs doing plenty of good things. The Joey's 5'8". Here comes Malloy. Good carry again by Combined States. And jinking and going through there is Prosser, and Prosser too easy. The young halfback, Payday, just gave him a mention in replacing Nicholas Murray, who's been good all week. But I tell you what, this kid goes all right too.
Very sharp. Just a lovely big wide dummy. As we see the play setting it up beforehand. He's had a little peek, thrown the dummy, left foot, straight through, got the pace to beat Hobbs on the outside. That's not Hobbs, it's Fanua, sorry.
So snappy little run there from Combined States.
Snappy little run, says the man over the tannoy, and that's exactly what it was. Great try.
Reminds me of a very, very young schoolboys champion, Josh Holmes. I don't think halfbacks doing enough these days of just stepping out and looking for a bit of a dummy and going through. Everything's so structured around that ruck, and you almost want to hedge your bets in passing it at someone bigger than you and him carrying it forward. But
probably about 20 years ago, Hass, you remember the big trend in defence was posting up at the ruck. Everyone checking their hands in the air, posting. So
I'm still doing it.
It's very hard for the poor old halfbacks to find those gaps, but look, that was very good vision from Prosser there. He saw that there was no Victorian with his hand in the air going posting, and he shimmied through that gap. Lovely try.
Here's Gibbs. Very high tee. Good routine. And gee, that's a good strike by Gibbs. He's threaded it through the pine, and now Combined States lead this one 38-5.
Interesting little run up he's got there.
He almost fell over.
It's a bit of a decoy kind of run. That might, he ends up going to play for the Wallabies, and for, you know, people trying to charge down his kick, he might find a few problems with that.
Whatever floats your boat as Combined States take the kick and go forward straight away through McSmith. He's also been solid all carnival, McSmith, the outside centre.
Leave it to
Hasn't seen a lot of ball today, but certainly in defence he's shown some very solid work as combined states try to run it out of their territory.
And that's Saunders, the try scorer. Vic's all over that ball, but the ball comes out now through Gibbs, and Gibbs says, I'm out of here. Punches it down the field. And Fanua back there, and here comes Stone. Bullet pass back to Fanua. I said before, this kid can play, and he can run too. Fanua with all the work to do. Bit of a footwork there. Stone had the ball. He had the line in front of him, and he's dropped it. But two of their standout players there. I think that's the difference between sort of Queensland and New South Wales. There's so much talent in Victoria and WA, but sometimes just that little bit of polish at the end that lets them down. Combined states. It was a good kick here by Gibbs. He got out of here, and Fanua had all the work to do.
I would have liked to say, I mean, he did the right thing, obviously. He's looking for his supporters. We see Stone off that right foot, and lovely bullet pass. Like, I would have loved Fanua just to have a crack, actually, Haas. He was one-on-one here with his man. Took a left foot step, he didn't fool him. He probably could have hugged that touchline and given it a crack. We'll never know. As combined states win a scrum and keep pushing out wide. They're going to keep attacking here, Haas. They've got a pretty handy lead. As you mentioned earlier, there's going to be some guys sticking their hand up nice and high for Aussie schoolboy selections.
That they are. Victoria pretty unlucky there not to get that turnover with the pressure at the ruck, but they've got it anyway now through Carter, the hooker, who's lost the ball, but the referee's there. He should see it, but the ball's come back. It is a penalty to Victoria. Hunt will take the quick tap. I've got no doubt about that. He does. Then finds Carter. Good ball carry from Carter, who finds his fullback Hobbs, who goes back on the inside. Hobbs needs to get that ball out, and he does. Hunt with the one-out run of Victoria. Their tall timber doing a lot of work up the centre of the field, and it's another penalty. He's going to have a look at this. He might have a chat or even present a card, yellow card. So combined states will play the next 10 minutes with 10 men with Harry Whiteman in the bin. Hunt with a quick tap.
With 10 men.
Sorry.
14. Jeez,
14 men.
That's a bit harsh. They've got it's 5 cent off.
Well,
Sorry, that was my fault. That was my fault.
I'll apologise to our listeners. Here's Fanua.
What was that for, Haas? Did you catch what it was for?
Repeated infringements.
Okay.
Hunt. He can carry Hunt too, as well as pass. Puts his head down, ball at the back. Pick and go from Victoria. That's better through Rooston. Ball at the back now for Adakali. Been watching him very closely, Adakali. Very good over the ball, and also good with the carry.
Well, they're going to try and go route one here, Haas.
Straight through the middle. Combined states looking to get their hands in there, isolated a bit. Malloy on his feet, trying to pilfer that ball. Here's Hunt. Will he go himself? No. Good carry there, and the Vics are over. Too easy for Tui Palutu.
Great play, great play. Probably half a dozen pick and drives, just eking forward. Really getting the combined states defence to pay the attention they needed around the ruck. The defence compressed a little, as we see these lovely tackle shredding run there from Tuipulotu near the line. That's a good sign of a good 12 Haas, a man who can keep the legs pumping, 3 or 4 out and get over the line.
Saying anything can happen in this game. With 20 minutes to go, I don't see there being too much hope for Victoria, but I think there is a glimmer. Looking at New South Wales 2 and their win over Queensland a few days ago, anything can happen. Fanua steps in, props, pops, and adds the extras. So Victoria now 12, trailing this one by 3 tries.
Well, that came from the combined states mistake earlier, and gave Victoria good territory. They need more of it. They need to get down in that combined states half.
So the conversion successful
Gibbs
from
now with the restart.
Victoria taking their score to 12 points.
Take some work to do for Victoria here. And I was about to say, well left by Stone, and Malloy had the ball, puts his hand up. his bad, he says.
Pin perfect kick though, it was just crept over the line. Little knock on.
Good crowd coming in here too, Pato. There's, I think with New South Wales 2 playing New South Wales 1 in the final, there'll be a decent crowd here later on, and they play it earlier in the day, so we can get out and enjoy their club footy here in Sydney, or if you're live streaming any of the games across the country, to tune in or head down to your local game.
I just can't have you pulling up on the bind, okay? If you're going to pull out, it needs to be before we start.
Can you make sure his head doesn't come under that one?
Good skills there from the front rowers. You always got to have a chat to the ref, don't you? Make sure he's doing what you want, Hass.
I always make sure I tell the ref he's doing an outstanding job in any environment. They've been good this carnival, the referees. I've given them a rap before. 40-minute mark now past. Victoria trailing this one. Short arm goes to Combined States as they go looking for that ball in the halfback cross-up, try scorer. And Malloy looks like he's the captain now. He's called the scrum to go down.
Seems a finicky kind of infringement, doesn't it, Hass? I suppose you got to get it right at this age, or you're never going to get it right. So it seems a bit pedantic, to be fair. We want to see a good game of footy, but it's an important element to get your binds right and to be scrummaging properly.
Bind! Set!
Just struggling to get a bind on the Victorian prop there.
Good scrum by Victoria this time. Here is States cross-up finding, is that man, Benjamin Pollock, and they're looking dangerous now through McSmith, who's held up in that tackle by Lambert Crichton. The ball goes to deck. Here's Malloy. Malloy dishes it off, and a good set of hands here now. It looks like he may have run out. They have. That was Thomas Gore who saw the opportunity. Lines are a bit faded on this one. There's a couple of scattered ones around the ground. There'd be all sorts of sport being played here at Riverview. I think the field is almost in the field most days, but good vision to go down this short side. And Gore just couldn't really see the paint on the ground.
Well, this is the first day they've played on the #1 oval here at Riverview. Hass had been on the field next door, so they're still adjusting to the sight lines, some of these guys. As we see Victoria trucking it up.
That was a run by David that then saw an offload to his teammate Folawagi.
And again,
good now.
he's done another terrific little offload there from David.
Looking good now, Victoria. And there's Hunt with a bit of a jink. Probably put a little bit of pressure on his teammates there. And they've gone down this open side, and this kid's got some gas here. That looks like it's Lambert Crichton who is doing some damage on that outside flank. Here comes Victoria, looking good now. Ball goes to the back, but that's okay. They'll play on through Adokali. Adokali, long ball out for him. Here's Hunt. Hunt shifting one now to Charlie Carter, who's always carrying well, the hooker for Victoria. Stone over the ball. He shifts it now. Hits the grass. Motoring forward is some of the timber of Victoria. Ball goes back, and it looks like it's now turning into a bit of a sevens competition. And if it is, you'd want this bloke with the ball. Fanua with a beautiful offload out the back, and now sees Lambert Crichton streaking away, throwing back on the inside. Great support for Nua. Good try, Victoria, closing the gap now, which should be 19 points. It had everything in that one. Lambert Crichton's speed, a beautiful offload to start things off, and Fanua, who backed up through the middle and scored an incredible try for the Vics.
Well, it looked like it was breaking down here, Hass, but Haloti Fanua, right foot step, left foot step. Lovely little backhanded pass out there, as we saw Lambert Crichton down the sideline, and he had the presence of mind to look inside. And who was it? Fanua backing up. Brilliant play from the Victorian right winger. You talk about names to jump off a page out of this tournament, Hassan. You mentioned him from the get-go. Haloti Fanua, fantastic. Adds the extras as well.
Be an interesting backline if it was Tamua to Famua, but we might leave that one to the contracting rugby gods. Combined States now taking their time to get back. It is within striking distance now, I think, for Vic. There's 15 minutes to play. They'll need to score a couple of quick ones and turn this into a game. They were very, very disappointed with their performance against ACT. They should have won that game. Plenty to play for here. Good tackle, but lost forward and cleaned up well by Combined States. That was McSmith.
Combined States are still down a man, of course. Victoria making the most of that in that last play, but this has been their problem, not able to follow up points with more pressure. Victoria, they have to turn that around in the next few minutes if they're any chance of hauling back the 19-point lead. That's 3 tries. Have they got 3 tries in them, Hass?
They do, I think. I think they're going to be coming home with a very, very strong breeze behind their back, though. Momentum is certainly with them. And their set piece has improved throughout the day, but they'll need to score quick. 45 minutes down in this one, 15 to go. And Vic's putting a bit of heat on them. Loose head causing a bit of a worry on this one. He needs to be packing straight. I think the referee will have a listen in to see what he has to say.
That's fine. Just manage the bind gap.
We're back to full numbers for Combined States, are we? It looks like it. Their scrum is a full complement.
Crouch. Bind. Sit.
That's a better scrum from Victoria and States. They've gone through Gibbs now. Gibbs throws the dummy. Beautiful pirouette by the Combined States fly half, and they head back down this short side. Big whack there by David, the Victorian tight head prop. Latched onto that ball, but they haven't turned it over from Carter. Ball through the legs of Combined States, so they're going backwards now. This combined team of talent. Gibbs throwing out now to Mick Smith to Malloy. I think that is on the open side. Here's Prosser giving it to the forwards. Gee, that's a good carry there from Wellington. Now Malloy back on the inside. Combined States making some meters, good carries. They need to hold their D-line, Victoria, if there are any chance in this one. Another great carry, but it's gone forward to Wellington. So he's been busy, Aaron Prosser, since he's come on, and Wellington just overran that one. I think he almost could have scored. But let's have a listen into the ref and see what's going on in these scrums.
Off the half, okay.
Wellington asking.
The referee was talking to Charlie Carter about managing his weight. Just seems to be a bit impertinent, for a front row.
I think it was actually better form from Wellington asking who the forward pass was from when he caught it. Certainly wasn't from you, Brett, but you have played well this morning, I should say, as Victoria go one out. That's Woolgram, who's joining the game now.
Are you allowed to do that?
Yep,
Adam?
That's a ruck. You can only use your feet.
You can hook back. You can't kick it.
Well, the referees were there on the spot, and with no TMOs, he's gone with his gut, and now they've got the ball through Prosser, and Prosser gets it out to Gibbs, and Gibbs throws it off the hip, gone backwards there, and Benny Pollock has knocked it on. Need to score soon, Vicks, if they're going to be a chance in this one. 38 points to Combined States.
Just a bit of uncertainty all round here. The pass didn't find its mark to start with. So we see the driving forward and a bit wide, left it to bounce, and then Gibbs sort of double pumped that pass. He was looking wide and then decided to go short. So we see Victoria coming back on the attack now. Where's Fanua? Give the ball to Fanua, I think, is the key.
Well, Fanua just shifted it on to Lambert Crichton. They're doing some damage out that side of the field, and Stone has thrown it straight into the arms. I think that was Tyneman. So disappointing for Victoria. They've got some good momentum behind them, and they turn it over. Still a chance in this one. They'll need to score a few tries, though. But Combined States, all the damage was done in that first 20 minutes, Pato, but they're They're out their feet too, both teams. They look absolutely knackered. It's been end to end.
You get the sense if Victoria get the ball onto the fringes that they can find some space, which is directly opposite what they started with. They were relying on their forward pack early, but I think we've come to the realisation that the Victorian strength is out wide there. As Combined States go on the attack again.
Here's Gibbs to McSmith. McSmith finds the defensive line, and now they've gone out wide. Hard to read the numbers in this one, but it's Combined States looking very sharp. One out runners. Here's that man again, Wellington, burrowing over. Turns it over though, and dived on by Combined States. So a bit scrappy here in the final 10 minutes of this one. The final day of the Schoolboys Championship. Coming up next, Queensland 1 taking on the ACT, which I think will be an outstanding game because, of course, Queensland unlucky to be not in the final. New South Wales 2 running over them. And the ACT champions from 2017. Some great talent coming through there. Jimenez being one of them. It'll be a good game to watch after this. 10 minutes time.
Set. Well, it's a good story on Rugby.com.au. Adam today talking with Andrew Maloney, the Australian Schoolboys coach, who says he loves seeing a number 2 team in the final or progress their way through a tournament. Shows that those young men are hungry to impress. And so we see a charge down.
That's picked up well by Fanua.
Fanua.
And can he go all the way? I reckon he can. Fanua with a long ball place, got to get it back. Vics have got to score some points and quickly. No time to kick it out. I reckon they've got to run it.
Another charge down.
All right, now where are we going? Is it going to be a quick tap? I'm sure he will. Kearns does. Kearns finds Lambert Crichton, who now carries forward through Grosvenor, who's come on. Good carry there from Oliver. Kearns in at 5'8". Here's Lambert Crichton. He's good too. Oh no, sorry, that's Tuipulotu. But he's just gone into touch, and you can see a bit of showtime now from Victoria, but 8 minutes of play. And then Combined States would be feeling pretty good about this one. Looks like David's time is up for today, so he'll leave the game. He played the full complement, Roy Jess David, the tight head prop.
He's had a good tournament, Adam, big man. Trucked himself around all week with distinction.
Just carries well. He's got that sort of one-out running style and gets his arm free and throws an offload. I think that's what Australian rugby needs, is there's some props that can actually carry and have some game. You've seen that with the Tongan Thor. Dom Robinson, they are good carriers for the Wallabies as Combined States win this one pretty easily, and they've gone through Prosser, who throws another dummy but probably doesn't get through this time. They're all over the little halfback. Pick and go from States. This is where they'll pull it up. Prosser finds Gibbs. Gibbs. Again, good carry from States behind the advantage line, but they're really well organised in attack. That ball has gone back, or it's forward, so not too much momentum going for any team in this last 10 minutes.
I think that was one of those famous knock back forwards.
Yeah.
Drop ball rule, I think. But this will give Victoria a chance to have another crack. There's 6 minutes of regular time, and then we go into injury time, so there could be, look, as much as 10 minutes left in this game. Victoria have to score very quickly, however. Kearns has gone to halfback now, Adam. Showing a bit of versatility that his old man probably never possessed.
Kearns feeds it in now. And pick and go from Victoria.
Wow.
That's Walgram.
Big strong fence from Walgram there.
They've got to get it out to their two playmakers. Charlie Carter's tried hard. Good offload from Carter, but they've got to find Fanua and Lambert Crichton. Hobbs in at the breakdown now. Tackle needs to release because he did find the deck. Kearns looking to get it out. The 10 playing 9. Ball's there. Fanua. Fanua now finds his outside backs. Here's Carter again with the carry. He's had plenty now. The hooker. Pick and go. Shifted beautifully by the prop forward. Just on this outside line of Lambert Crichton with the ball. So they're doing their best to get it to their action players. Combined States now come away with the ball. Box kick's gone backwards. And tap back. Could be an opportunity for Kearns, but Kearns is on that ball. Looking for the pilfer. He's been good, Kearns, since he started at 9, and then onto this ball is Carter. Are they going to share the penalty? Ball's there. And counteract well. It could be anywhere. No, off his feet. 5 minutes of play. Victoria's slipping in this one.
Well, I thought they were unlucky there, Hass. The man was right on top of the ball there, and the ref just gave the Combined States a couple of extra seconds to release it. Tell you what, that box kick a couple of seconds ago wouldn't go into the highlight reels. Did it go backwards or?
Yeah, I reckon that's why it would go in the highlight reel. That's an impressive thing to do, is to kick the ball forward, but it go backwards.
Didn't have much on. Might call that a shoebox kick, I think.
Has Combined States try to get things underway, and it hasn't gone straight.
So you got them for numbers there, hasn't it?
Yep, but they've got the advantage for numbers. Another try in States, possibly. Good carry there. Pick and go by Wellington. Or is that Raheem? But they've got the ball back now. Is Bryden. Bryden finding his forwards through the middle. And that's a good, strong carry to States up to the 22-metre line. Here's Prosser with the ball. Prosser goes against the grain and down the short side. And that man, Wellington.
Gee's been good today, Hass Wellington.
He looks thick, doesn't he? Continuing on. Good, strong carries here. Can they get the offload? Victoria out on their feet. Ball comes out wide. I think that's Johnson Holmes with the ball now. Just around about 20 metres out. Another try in them potentially.
Younger brother of Harry Johnson Holmes from the Waratahs.
Maybe they're in a band together. Here come Combined States. Seems like there's been a few changes with Gibbs now off the field and Pollock jumping in at 10. They're motoring forward now. The commando roll from Combined States. Here's Wellington. Couple of extra metres with those strong pins of his. Proctor finding the line, advantage to them. Ball wide out. That looks like it's gone back. The advantage has gone to Combined States. They'll have an opportunity. Will they go to set piece or take the quick tap?
Well, here's just the skill and structure that you were talking about earlier, Hass. All of these Combined States lads play in separate teams throughout the year and probably haven't played a lot of footy together in underage groups either, but they're really got their act together in this last game of the tournament. That was some superb rugby there. The big men rolling forward. Good support. Prosser was in there shifting it. And you can see the Australian selectors will be keeping a very close eye on some of these lads. Wellington in particular looks like a terrific prospect.
He does look strong, Wellington. It's almost disappointing they're not in their school socks. It's a great cause to wear the socks of choice for Combined States, raising some great awareness for mental health. And usually in their school socks. Just on 2 minutes of play here on the clock. We've got Victoria playing for pride in this second game on the final day of the Aussie Schools Champs.
Crouch!
As Prosser, the halfback, looks to get things underway. Another try potentially. I'd like to see Malloy find the line, the open side for Combined States and Waverley, but he's not going to find it in this facet of play because they've knocked the ball onto the back. Really scrappy this last 15 minutes or so, Pato, but maybe it's due to the pressure of the game being on the line, but maybe Victoria one more opportunity left.
Well, it's tough for these fellas coming onto the field, wanting to obviously make the most of their opportunity, put their name up for selection in teams later on, but obviously still playing within that team structure.
Short arm penalty. Kearns takes it early. Good visuals here from behind the ruck as Victoria trying play for one more. That's Tuolagi. He's isolated, but no, gets the ball. Kearns pops it up to his forward. Now Combined States looking for that final try. Minute of play now. ball knocked on. The referee might have been able to let that one go, but a lot of scrums in this one.
We still have a minute.
Let's go, boys! Well, we have been going into injury time. Haas, if you see that clock, they don't do a siren anymore. So the ref keeps a bit of injury time on his watch, so there might be a slight discrepancy between our clock and the referee's time, but he did say a minute to go, so there mustn't have been much in this second half. I think they've got a try left in them here, Combined States, if they can get this ball out cleanly. Wellington, the Scots College boy at the back, he might pick and go.
I've got every bit of confidence if he did, he'd score. Here come Combined States. Gibbs is back on the field. Can they get one more try? Cross up. Here's Malloy. He's been good today, Malloy. And could be on the scorer's sheet. Cross up. Back on the inside. States looking now dangerous. Referee is policing that breakdown. Pick and go by States. Just falling short. And the 11 now all over that ruck. Referee buried in there. So
quick tap here.
Quick tap could be on. I'd be playing the quick tap. Look at Wellington. Wellington just wants some more. Thought he was going to take a bite out of that football when he tried to take it off the halfback. Cross up.
Another scrum. One more scrum can't hurt.
I'm calling it here, Pato. I'm going to say scrum States. And if I'm them, I'm Brett Wellington at number 8, picking it up and just putting my head down. And I reckon that could be
left or right. Let's see if you can.
I'd go towards the post.
Crouch.
Looks like a big, strong kid. Did you say Scots College?
Scots College. He's from the South Coast, I believe.
Okay, let's have a look here. VICs have been gritty though. They've shown some real force. He doesn't get the ball, but they're moving forward. Here's Prosser. Prosser to Gibbs. Gibbs finds his way through. Can he get the score for Combined States? Prosser diving towards the line. Pick and goes are on now for States. Can they get there? They're a metre short. Ball at the back. This is where it's a bit of white line fever for the States. They are short. Ball's coming back now. Victoria told to leave it. Prosser. They have to score here. And they do. So Combined States have finished this one off with a bang. I think that's the reserve hooker, Davies. So good try to States. They're always going to score that last try, but Victoria came back with a little bit of hope. They got within 3 tries, and you can see that they're absolutely gutted. But Pato, just too good and basically too strong around that ruck in this one.
Well, your coaching career's got off to a poor start. Wellington didn't take it off the back, but the idea was right. The route one for the Combined States forwards was always going to get the job done at this stage of the game. Bit of patience, which is impressive at this age. And with the selectors watching on, they all played for the team first. So look, impressive win from Combined States.
It looks like Wellington's going to have a crack here.
This over easy.
Whoa, I don't know what Gibbs should be thinking there. He probably want to be out in the points, but Wellington, he can carry and he can kick. So